Hi everyone. In this video we're going to be going over some of the things you might do with the learning modules that are imported from Vista now that they're in 9.1. The way content is displayed in 9.1 is much more menu driven as opposed to Vista where it was shown in a learning module and they would flip through sequentially from item 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. These content areas that we can make on the left side here can house anything we want. So what we can do is actually make a content area for each learning module. What we're going to do is we're going to take some of the content from that learning module, specifically activities like assessments, assignments, discussions, pull them out of the learning module, and just place them in the content area. Now you're going to see what I mean when we've actually pulled it together. Okay, so for an example, I'm going to use Module 1, My Courses Overview, as you can see here, and I'm going to create a content area to move this into and start breaking it apart. So I hover over the plus sign in the top left corner of the course menu and choose Content Area. From there, I'm just going to give it the same name, Module 1, My Courses Overview, and I'll make it available to users. This checkbox is kind of nice and you can always change it later on. It's sort of the hide or show feature as you saw in Vista, so you can actually make something not visible to students until you're ready for it. Now hit submit. The next piece I need to do is actually move this learning module into that content area so I can start breaking it apart. So I'll hit the options drop down and say move. When the move screen comes up, I'll click on the browse button and select my newly created content area to move this into. Now I'll just hit submit. Now you'll see module 1 isn't here, so I'll come over to this content area and here it is. Now I'm just going to click on it and I want to look through it to see what am I going to pull out. So let me just point out to you what would really be pulled out. Typically we're going to pull out the activities as I said before, so let's kind of flip through. Things with this icon are just text, so those things can usually stay in because it's text and or it's information on your lecture or something like that. So let's see. Alright, I have a discussion board here. That's something I'm going to want to pull out. Click on this options menu and once again let's say move. I'll browse and once again I'm just going to pick module 1, My Courses Overview. When I hit submit again, it's now pulled it out of the learning module and moved it to the root of the content area right here. Now I'm going to go back in module 1 and see if there's anything else in there I want to pull out, which I know there is. So I'll scroll down and here it is. I want to pull this assessment out. Now I'm going to follow the same process because moving items, any item in the system pretty much works the same. Hit the options menu and choose move. Once more, browse, click on module 1 and submit. That's it. We've moved what we needed to out of the learning module. So now it's going to already starting to look like something that would be presented in Learn 9.1. The next thing I want to do is pull out my instructions. Now the instructions don't come out as a file. I want to grab them and put them as a header on that main content area so that when a student comes in, they're going to see in order the things they need to do. So they see some directions up here at the top of the screen, a learning module that they need to read through first, a place where they're supposed to introduce themselves, and then the test at the end. Now you can probably relate this to your course where they're going to be told in order what they need to do, whether that's read a chapter in the book, flip through a learning module, and then do the activities or assessments which come below. So I'm going to click into module 1, and in my course, and most of your courses, the first page of your learning module is typically the directions, and it'll show me the text that's in this file. Now don't be worried, you can see something weird here like question marks and odd things where the bullet should be. Just copy this text by highlighting it. Right click, copy, come back to your module 1, build content, add an item, title that item something like module 1 objectives or directions or whatever the first piece of information you want your students to read. Scroll down to the text box, right click, paste, and all the text will come in. Now you'll see it does need a little bit of cleanup. Now this is part of the migration. So here's that question mark, so I'll replace that with a apostrophe. There's a little extra spacing here, so I'll clean that up. See, it's nothing major. You're just kind of coming through and cleaning up the little things. So these are all bulleted, but they're messed up, so I'll just get rid of them. All right. So now I'll try and use some of the actual tools. Highlight this, bullets, that's nice. Do the same here. Highlight all of these, bullets. Okay, again, it is acting a little weird, but that's all part of the migration isn't clean. So, all right, those two are supposed to be indented some more. So I'll move those out. All right, now everything looks pretty good. So I'm just going to hit submit. And there we go. I got my Module 1 objectives and directions to go at the top of my page. As you see things and you can change them and tweak them so that they display correctly, do it, because in the long run you're going to have less errors. So here we have my broken out learning module. It's a content area that I'm putting on the left side, and it's got, for a student, they walk in, they step in, they click into here, and they see, okay, module 1, here's the objectives, this is what I'm going to learn, here's what I need to do, in what order I'm going to do it in. I see I have a learning module to do this week, I have a discussion board I need to post to, and there's an assessment. So what this did was it kind of broke it out so that the learning module is simply for static content, like reading like a book. So it's discussion lectures, it's videos, it's stuff like that that they need to flip through in the sequential order you choose. And then the activities sequentially come after the learning module. That's all for this piece.